Hello and welcome to Haunted Montreal's Spooky Story Sessions. I'm your host, Holly Rhiannon, and today I'm going to tell you about the Camillien-Houde Belvedere. Here at Haunted Montreal, we bring you ghost stories in both French and English every Saturday. Before we get into today's story, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you get notified when we have a new tale to share. And hey, if you're already subscribed, a big thank you and welcome back. We're so happy to have you. Now, without further ado, let's get spooky. The Camillien-Houde Belvedere is a charming spot perched high above the northeastern slope of Mount Royal. Complete with winding stairways and garden-like slopes, the area features benches, lampposts, coin-operated telescopes, and spots to park. The romantic Belvedere offers incredible views of the Olympic Stadium, Jacques-Cartier Bridge, St. Lawrence River, and the Plateau-Mont-Royal and Mile-End districts. Named after Montreal's colorful wartime mayor, Camilien Houde, the delightful lookout is also rumored to have a dark side. Unfortunately, despite its romantic appeal, the lookout can be a very dangerous place at times. Many lovers, tourists, and students celebrating their high school graduation have reported strange sightings on the cliff behind the lookout, which is actually the border of the Plateau-Mont-Royal cemetery. While the most recognizable ghost is that of an Algonquin warrior, undead apparitions of all sorts have been known to appear on this haunted cliff, terrifying the sightseers on the Camillien-Houde lookout below. To make matters worse, there have been several mysterious deaths at this location caused by people falling down the steep slopes of Mont Royal. Starting with the history of the location, the Camillien-Houde lookout was created in 1958 during the construction of Camillien-Houde Parkway, which required a special law to build. Following the old number 11 tramway line established in 1930, the road links Beaver Lake at the top of the mountain with Mount Royal Avenue in the plateau. Always a popular location, the Camillien-Houde lookout was renovated and enhanced in 1996 by award-winning landscape architect Wendy Graham, which enhanced its romantic appearance and hence gained its reputation as a lover's lookout. Camillien-Houde was the popular and flamboyant mayor of Montreal on 4 separate occasions, including during World War II. He was reform-minded and also pushed for improvements on Mount Royal, such as the construction of Beaver Lake during the Great Depression. Ever the colorful character, he is fondly remembered for expressions like, "As long as we keep a balance between the praying and the sinning, we'll never sink into wickedness." Houde also had a rebellious side, and on August 2nd, 1940, Montreal's controversial mayor publicly urged the men of Quebec to ignore compulsory conscription for World War II as introduced by the federal government. 3 days later, he was arrested by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police on charges of sedition. With no trial, he was sent to be confined in internment camps in Petawawa, Ontario, then Minto, New Brunswick, until his release several years later on August 18, 1944. When he returned to Montreal, he was greeted by a huge crowd of 50,000 cheering citizens. The popular mayor easily won his re-election as the leader of the city that same year. Even in death, the old mayor was flamboyant. Following his passing in 1958, Camilien Houde was interred in an Italian marble replica of Emperor Napoleon's tomb in the Catholic Cimetière Notre-Dame-des-Neiges. Years later, Mayor Jean Drapeau would name the new road and lookout over Mount Royal after Houde. The move was considered ironic by many citizens because Houde had long opposed building any roads on Mount Royal. Incidentally, the Camillien-Houde lookout is located at the bottom of an ominous cliff, on top of which is Protestant Mount Royal Cemetery. The 165-acre Protestant Mount Royal Cemetery, which was founded in 1852, was designed as both a beautiful garden and hallowed burial ground. Being high up on the mountain, it has been described as a city of the dead overlooking a city of the living, and it's also one of my favorite places to go and sit and read and write. It's absolutely gorgeous. Adjacent to the Protestant Mount Royal Cemetery is the much larger Catholic Cimetière Notre-Dame-des-Neiges, which was founded in 1854. Once farmland, the cemeteries were designed after a Parisian theory that suggested burial grounds should also be beautiful parklands. The 2 massive cemeteries are presently running out of space. Cimetière Notre-Dame-de-Neige is estimated to have 1 million graves, whereas the smaller Protestant Mont-Royal Cemetery has about 162,000 interments. When statistically combined, the cemeteries on Mount Royal constitute the largest intact burial ground in North America. When it comes to paranormal activity, the Protestant Mont-Royal Cemetery is said to be the more active of the two. Security guards are known to patrol the burial ground in cars through the night. Rumors of the reasoning for this suggest that not only have there been cases of vandalism, but also black masses involving animal sacrifice. Apparitions have also been seen walking through the graveyard, as well as standing on the edge of the high rock cliffs at the boundaries of some parts of the cemetery. While the most recognized ghost is that of the Algonquin warrior, undead apparitions of all sorts have been known to appear on this cliff, terrifying the sightseers on the lookout. The island of Montreal has hosted various First Nations for thousands of years. When French explorer Jacques-Cartier visited the island in 1535, he encountered Iroquoian villagers at Hochelaga, a small city surrounded by a wooden palisade, located at the base of the mountain. When the French returned in 1642 to colonize the island, Hochelaga had mysteriously disappeared. Other First Nations, including the Algonquin, have had a relationship with the island for thousands of years, given its place as a hub of transportation and trade. The Algonquin called the island where there was a village. Why an undead Algonquin warrior might haunt a Protestant cemetery is anyone's guess. Is he guarding something? Did he perish long ago in a forgotten war? Is his presence related to other First Nation burial sites found on Mount Royal? Historically, there have been discoveries of Aboriginal graves on the mountain, often with the deceased being buried in the fetal position. Could the Protestant cemetery have been laid out on top of another old burial site, creating disturbances of those originally interred? If so, could the spirit of the Algonquin warrior have returned to this world in some sort of paranormal protest? While nobody knows the answers to these questions, the appearance of the ghostly Algonquin warrior is one of Mount Royal's most mysterious legends. In addition to the undead apparitions that frequent the cliff, there are the other unsolved mysteries at the Belvedere. A strange sighting occurred at Camillien-Houde Lookout during the 1990s, which may have been a UFO. The former manager at the now defunct Caverne Grecque restaurant was shocked when he witnessed a 10-foot orb floating across the air in front of his parked car. The large orb hovered there in front of the Belvedere for several minutes before floating away towards the east. Unable to comprehend exactly what had happened, the baffled man still discusses the strange incident to this very day. There is also an infestation of raccoons living in the forested area surrounding the lookout, and I love them. After being fed by tourists over the years, the raccoon population exploded, prompting the city to erect signs warning people about the nocturnal rodents. According to one tourist who visited the lookout in 2016, the raccoons can be aggressive and seem to have no fear of people. They want one thing and one thing only: food. One of them almost tripped me when it suddenly scurried between my legs to go after a bag of chips someone was offering it. I hope they don't have rabies. So yeah, if you visit, maybe don't feed the raccoons. You can still enjoy them without feeding them. They're pretty awesome. The darkest secret of the Camillien-Houde Lookout is that its nearby slopes can be extremely dangerous after the sun has gone down. Several years ago, at around 1 a.m. on Sunday, September 23, 2012, a 48-year-old American tourist mysteriously fell from the lookout. His worried friends called 911 to report him missing. Firefighters with mountain climbing gear were dispatched to navigate the dangerous slopes. They found the man's body 20 minutes later at the base of a tree. He had fallen an estimated 33 meters or 100 feet, a spokesperson for emergency services said. Emergency personnel were unable to resuscitate the man using defibrillation, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. Montreal police say it doesn't appear that alcohol or a criminal act was involved, raising questions as to why he fell in the first place. While the fall appears to be accidental, authorities could not determine what may have caused the man to plunge to his death. The name of the victim was never released. In another instance, on June 24, 2015, 3 people in their 20s were injured after they toppled off Mount Royal at the lookout while drunk. At the exact same time as the incident in 2012, at 1 a.m., a young man fell from the lookout and tumbled several meters off the slope. At the exact same time as the incident in 2012 at 1 a.m., a young man also fell from the lookout and tumbled several meters down the slope. According to the Montreal police, 2 young women tried to help him and ended up losing their footing and falling as well. Again, specialized climbers with the Montreal Fire Department were called in and rescued the trio. All suffered minor injuries. Whether or not the undead apparitions or scurrying raccoons have anything to do with tourists falling to their injury or death is anyone's guess. That the falls often happen at 1 a.m. raises further questions about whether it's mere coincidence or if there could be a recurrent haunting. Could an undead apparition consistently stalk the area at 1 a.m. looking for someone to push down the slope? One thing is certain, Camillien-Houde Belvedere is not only known as a lover's lookout, but it also has a haunted reputation and is a potentially deadly place to visit after the sun has gone down. Are you a Montreal resident or perhaps a tourist who has experienced something strange at the Belvedere? If so, we'd love to know. As always, we want to hear your theories about what could be going on. Thank you so much for stopping by. If it's your first video, we do hope you'll stick around for the next one. We post videos in both French and English every Saturday. If you'd like to learn more about the organization founded by the talented Donovan King, it's all listed in the description down below, along with links to purchase tickets to in-person haunted storytelling tours. Remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We'll have a new video out next Saturday, but until then, stay spooky.